I was thinking that this year we have become quite the international club. We have Elizabeth from England, we have Ray from South Africa, Jelena from Croatia, Harold from Saskatchewan. We even have a guest from France. And now I am going to introduce our guest speaker, who not only is from Germany, but is a Rotarian who is transferred to us from Germany, Chris.
Well, dear friends, dear guests, since I've had the pleasure to listen, as we all, to that great presentation, I decided to start with my Finnish. My Finnish would have been my value system. So I value fairness. It's totally unfair to put this group as such a professional presentation from the Congratulations, guys. That is awesome and a really good cause. Now, honesty is another one. So I admit it's totally unfair because I'm totally unprepared. As you see me working there when you came in, and it's a photo finish with what I can present today. I apologize for that. Usually I'm much better prepared. The reason is just this work week is just one of the work weeks you want to get over with. Even though for many it's still a short week since we just had the Easter weekend. So honesty is another value, and I also value integrity, and I hope my honest commitment here helped to raise that a little in your eyes. So that was my finish. Now let's come back to the start. Yeah, I'm from Germany, as you all know. Very many times I've been asked where, and when I say the southern part, well, Germany fits 2.5 times into Alberta. So by Canadian standards, it doesn't matter where from, it's just Germany. Since the Europeans in this, or the former Europeans in this room, they know it's quite a difference because we do have many small areas with local dialects and how do you say, not regionals, but you know what I mean. So the little triangle there marks basically the area from Frankfurt to Stuttgart to Nuremberg. And usually I say we're right in the middle, well we almost are. So it's this, my hometown is Bad Mergentheim. The bad stands for bathroom, just so you know. That comes from the tradition that some cities are allowed to carry that as an extended title, that this city is doing something in regards to your health. In Germany, the health system even allows you to have a paid vacation into one of those cities where your overall health gets improved. Yeah, it's true. It's no joke. It's also the reason why our health system is always bankrupt, but that's another thing. Yeah, I was born there in 1969, January 14th. Still not getting younger each day. It's a wonderful, lovely little city, but I can probably do another presentation just about the area of Germany where I'm from. Maybe you've heard about Rothenburg, of the Tower. Rothenburg, yeah, the city which is well known for especially the Christmas shop, Kate Wohlfahrt. We're just 45 minutes from it. Yeah, I'm having a sister. Her name is Julia. She's married. She's well ahead of me in regards to her own family. So that's my niece and nephew. You see, my niece had her international day at her high school, and the country she's chosen was a no-brainer for her, since the uncle lives in Canada. So, and of course Justus, This is one of his first selfies he did. I have the title, I am brave. Well, I would say question mark. He's a great, great children. So, yeah, I joined high school there, so the basic school and high school. I enjoyed high school there up to the 6th grade. And then my grades got so bad that my parents decided better get him to boarding school. So somebody is looking after how he does in school, which was a good thing after all. I admit that. However, I got so bored that my grades there didn't really improve too. So don't listen to that. However, I've been born into an entrepreneurial family. My family father's side had a hotel, so the hotel industry, hospitality industry is a little bit in my blood. The mother's side of the family, they had an automotive dealership. And my parents tried in the first couple of years of their marriage to handle both businesses, but they decided to stay with the automotive part, which was good for me. Drove great cars. After high school, my parents, because my grades weren't so well, said, why don't you learn a trade? And in Germany, you can't even learn a trade to be an industrial business trader. So I learned to be an industrial business trader. I managed that better than high school, so they allowed me to move on to college. And I did my first bachelor in automotive management with a German small specialized college. Luckily, this college had a cooperation going on with the Northwood University in Florida. And I went there for a year as a senior and could graduate with a bachelor in business administration for automotive marketing and management. So when I came back, of course, I joined the family dealership and I joined Rotary. So my first day of Rotary was, if I'm not totally mistaken, early December 1999. And the reason for that was because my father, as a Christmas gift, wanted to present the invitation to join the International Golfing Fellowship of Rotary. Another topic which I would love to talk about, especially for all the golfers here. So these pictures here were taken from the IGFR World Championships in Paris. And this, just to give you a little, to water your mouth a little, if you join the IGFR, which is a one-time life membership, and you've been invited to all the World Championships. They have regional championships as well. However, when I was on the board, I was actually 2 years on the board of the IGFR, Canada united with the States, and I can't really say how they dividing now the regional championships. But there's a great website, and please, if you're interested, see me afterwards. As I said, I had the pleasure studying in Florida, Northwood University. Very tough place, very cold, air conditioned. And when I went back, that is unfortunately the only picture I have with me from my old dealership, the front part. I joined the family dealership. The problem with that was that the dealership wasn't truly owned just by our family. It was the second part of the family as well. Because my grandfather and his brother started the business in 1923. And so I became the third generation to take over, which I did in the beginning, but the ending comes later. After working for 6 years, I decided bachelor is good, master is better. So I went back to my father, said, Dad, I have a feeling I'm missing something. And he said, what are you missing? I said, education. Again, I said, yes. So how long? I said, 2 years. Master takes 2 years. Where? Florida. I said, fine, I'll give you a year. If I would have known what I got myself into, I wouldn't have done it. Well, anyways, I did the regular 2 2-year program within a year. Even the dean of the Palm Beach Atlantic University made it a habit to open the doors for me because they said, you don't have time for that. Partly true. This is actually a picture where part of the area here is the university. So when you look from there to those nice boats over there, kind of motivational. I can tell you that. Yeah, when I came back, my wife joined my life and we got married in 2006. The upper right corner is with my sister. And with my wife, as she would say, she expected me to join her interests. And her interests became horses. And then she said, would you mind if I start riding again? I said, no, of course not. Lease a horse, all good. After 2 years, she said, would you mind buying one? I said, no, I wouldn't. After that, she said, do you still want children? I said, oh, I'd love to. Well, then guess who has to learn to ride? Because if I'm pregnant, I can. And we have a horse too. Damn. Tricked me into that, so I learned riding at the age of 39. And, well, then came the idea of Canada. And then she said, well, you know, having the horse at the house would be so romantic. Oh, was I dumb. Every morning, doing the barn. Every weekend, driving off the horse manure. So if you see a black Ford with a trailer, horse manure, wave, that's me. Usually Saturdays. And of course, she said, we can't only have one horse now because one horse would be cruel. They are herd animals. So we needed a second one. I said, you do know that they sell horses over there? Well, yeah, but. I said, yeah, no but. Look for prices and we'll make a decision. Actually, it turns out, boy, those horses she likes, the big ones, 19 hands and so, they're so expensive over here, so we bought a second one, brought both of the horses over to Canada. If I would have thought something, I would have brought pictures as well. In a container. She arrived after a 15-hour flight through 2 hops in the States, in Calgary, at 2 o'clock in the morning. That was fun. But she brought also our 4 cats with her. So, yeah, when the family Findt registration was done, we had a signed zoo. And 4 German cats and 2 German horses joined the newly Canadian family. However, my wife is a bit crazy when it comes to animals, so am I, and she said, you know what, we have cats. Oh, what, dogs? So, we got dogs, and since then, most of the time I'm sleeping in the guest room. Irish Wolfhound, a Great Dane, and that's the neighbor's dog. The last one, the brown one. That's our old house in Germany, just to give you an idea how land, countryside living looks like in Germany. Yes, we do get snow too, especially that winter. Yeah, just to prove I made it up to our horse. This is Little John, the Shire horse, because I've always said, with my weight, you really can't do this to any horse. Boy, was I wrong. Little John easily carries me, and his weight is roughly a ton. So. Back to my career life, business, professional life. As I already said, we had a Volkswagen and Audi dealership, so the cars were great. When I was young, I was a little bit spoiled by that, and I ignored a couple of warning signs. Like, hey Dad, shouldn't we talk about the future with our partners? No, we shouldn't. So, okay. 2 years later, hey Dad, should we talk about the future with our partners? No. It's better, it's Sorry, somebody's calling. Well, it came to the third time when I asked the question, and again his answer was no, no, no. Well, in the end, when I had to take over the dealership 2006, their son was a convicted fellow for tax fraud and had ruined his own company, which was a Porsche dealership. And since you already know my values, this was a no-brainer, that was a no-go. I couldn't work with this guy together. Unfortunately, he drew his father into a million debt with that, because he made his father a partner in his company. And so I had, unfortunately, to create an exit strategy. So I created this exit strategy, and can happily say it worked out fine, because today I'm here. I couldn't be happier with being here. 95% of my old personnel had new jobs when I left the company, or had job securities, because I knew the other part of the family would ruin the company in no time. It only took them 3 months to rent the company into bankruptcy. Well, that's a sad part of life. But again, I planned my exit, so I was just burned as a stakeholder, nothing else. I had another idea which didn't work out, to start over, of course in Germany, of course in the automotive industry, but this partner became cold feet, backed out, and I was shortly self-employed by being a business consultant specialized in automotive dealerships. It was under that I was hired from a Canadian company, Building Technologies, to do some work for them, to introduce modern and new products which they could add to their product portfolio. Must have done something right, because it became the job offer of becoming a marketing manager for them to develop the West. Well, I was sold to a 10-year-old company, established business in the East, and I don't know what it is with me. Sometimes I think I have a certain magnet in my pocket. When I came over, it took me 3 weeks to figure out the company is fake, and the general manager is only, is ripping my boss off his money. So I talked to my boss. The company was headquartered in Ottawa. My boss was here in Edmonton. I came back from a training week. I said, Klaus, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm going back. He was shocked. I was shocked that he was shocked, but that's different. Because it was so obvious. And I said, Klaus, this is what's going on. And he said, well, stay. Try help me get all the evidence so I can sue the guy. And he did that. And when that was done, then he offered saying, can you turn it around? I said, well, if you give me funds, time, and support, I can. But I need a free hand. Well, he granted me that. And we started over with Building Technologies 2011 on May 1st, 2011. I started with a 2-man company. We're now 10. We're in our 3rd year of business. We just broke $1 million of sales. We've became a national distributor for IT products, led by robotics security cameras. I brought a couple just of the products with me. So that would be a typical robotics security camera. Usually I throw this on the floor and show that it's still working. Since this will become a silent auction item for Lobster Festival. We're also meanwhile doing telephony systems, PBX boxes, and have VoIP phones. This one is from Grand Street. We'll also go to Lobster Fest. And we have some intangible items. We have a couple of software products, information servers. So if anybody is interested in combining email, fax, text, voice, and any kind of digital information into one organizational system, speak to me. And this just represents the IT business, the intangible business, but it goes also as an external hard drive to the auction. So, I can honestly say my professional life has been very interesting so far. But it held great rewards too. I mean, creating a company from scratch with the freedom I got and the trust was great, and I really enjoyed it. I'm still enjoying the job. And we became, by the way, in the first 9 months, We acquired 51% of the robotics market share in Canada, so we became number one. Besides biggies like Graybar and Triad, just large multi-franchise distributors. Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. That comes pretty close to Rotary. Thank you very much. Success was, I was looking at how distribution was being done in Canada and figured out it's multi-brand distribution, which basically means there's no added value in the process by the distributor. So distributors got nicknames like box pushers and inventory turners. And I'm approaching that from the personal perspective. I'm concentrating, focusing on the people, on their challenges, on their application, and we're a single brand distributor, which means the only cameras we sell in robotics, the only phones we sell are Grandstreams, with a slight exception there. The only IT solution for emails is David, and this makes us, or enables us to add value to the system by offering training, by offering support, even business support, and have all the knowledge in-house. Because in that market, it's very important that partners can get support. And robotics has a very, very unique business approach as well, and the company is also very young, 15 years old, 480 employees in Germany, a global player. And you can imagine that the support requirements on their shoulders are so large and huge, and their US, North America group is only 18 people. So they desperately needed us. And by the way we do business, that was easy to grow.
How do you stay on top of the salespeople across Canada?
That's a challenge. And trust me, it's
ongoing.
It's ongoing. It's ongoing. We've made lots of wrong choices, unfortunately, too, by the way, but it's looking for the right characters. I hire character, I don't hire skills. Well, a character with skills, but I don't require product knowledge, I don't require industrial knowledge, I can train them. If the character and skills are right, I can train the rest.
Are your robotic cameras, are they geared towards security systems for industrial use?
You can use them, that's one of the myths. There are very many myths out there. One is that this would be only industrial product. That's wrong, but they too. Out of the box, this camera is a Linux computer, has a microphone, a speaker, a recording device, a temperature sensor. It's able to alert you when there's even noise in the background, or to certain temperatures, or to true object movement. This camera can differentiate between environmental movement, like leaves blowing in the wind, and true object movement on its own.
But he doesn't sell